Good morning. It's August 4th, 2026. Palantir just posted another strong quarter, and the driver was clear: real commercial demand for AI. The company continues to be one of the most direct public plays on enterprise AI adoption right now. At the same time, Palo Alto Networks doubled down on AI-powered security offerings. The market is rewarding companies that can actually ship AI into production workflows, not just talk about models in earnings calls. When you see consistent commercial traction like this, it usually means the technology has crossed from pilot projects into actual budget lines. Enterprises are no longer just experimenting, they're writing checks and expecting results. That shift from experimentation to production spend is one of the clearest signals that AI has moved beyond the hype phase and into the operational phase of adoption across multiple industries. The companies that can deliver measurable outcomes are pulling ahead of those still stuck in the experimentation phase. Alibaba released Qwen 3 827B as open weights, and Unsloth already shipped day zero support. The model runs comfortably on 17 gigabytes of RAM, or VRAM, a single RTX 4090, a high-end Mac with 24 gigabytes unified memory, or even combined system RAM and GPU memory. Fine-tuning is also dramatically faster and uses far less memory than standard approaches. Local frontier-class models just became realistic on normal hardware most people already own. This is a meaningful shift. We're moving past the era where only large labs or companies with serious infrastructure could run high-parameter models locally. Now a serious hobbyist or small team can run something genuinely capable on their own machine without needing a data center or massive cloud budget. That changes the economics and accessibility of frontier models in a real way, and it's going to accelerate experimentation outside of big tech in the coming months as more people gain access to powerful local models. Anaconda acquired Encrypt AI, a company focused on AI security, red teaming, and compliance automation. This matters because regulated industries now have a clearer path to governed AI deployments. The acquisition signals that security and compliance tooling are moving from nice-to-have features to table stakes for serious AI work. If you're building in healthcare, finance, or government, this kind of tooling is becoming non-negotiable. Red teaming and runtime guardrails are no longer optional extras. They're becoming baseline requirements for any organization that needs to pass audits or meet regulatory standards. The bar for responsible AI deployment is rising quickly, and vendors are responding by consolidating the tooling stack into more complete offerings that cover the full lifecycle from development through production and monitoring. The EU AI Act's transparency obligations officially took effect on August 2nd. Companies must now disclose when users are interacting with AI systems and label AI-generated or manipulated content, including deepfakes. This is the first major regulatory requirement to land on general-purpose AI models, and it's already forcing changes in how companies communicate with users. Expect more regions to follow with similar rules in the coming quarters. The regulatory environment is catching up to the technology faster than many expected, and companies that have been slow to prepare are going to feel the pressure in the next few months as enforcement begins to ramp up across the industry. This is the beginning of a broader regulatory wave that will affect how AI is developed, deployed, and communicated to end users worldwide. Resistance to AI data centers is growing across the United States. Communities are pushing back on the massive power and water demands these facilities create in their backyards. At the same time, President Trump has been publicly telling towns to stop fighting the projects. The tension between AI infrastructure needs and local pushback is turning into a real political and regulatory issue that isn't going away. Energy and land use are becoming first-class constraints on how fast AI can scale. This isn't just a PR problem anymore. It's becoming a practical bottleneck that will shape where and how quickly new AI capacity comes online over the next several years. Expect this tension to influence both policy and investment decisions in the infrastructure space going forward, as communities and regulators push back on unchecked expansion. 5 stories, one clear theme: AI is moving from experiments to real infrastructure, and the friction is starting to show in regulation, hardware access, energy consumption, and security requirements. The easy phase is ending, and the hard work of building sustainable systems is beginning. That's the briefing for today.